and I'm joined by Matt
Hey.
and Carl.
Yo.
And today we are going to take a look at the awesome Tyranid Codex. Not the new one. No. The second edition one.
Is it the first proper non-right dwarf one?
Exactly. Yeah, this is actually the first Tyranid Codex. So they'd got rid of the Zotes and stuff like that by this time, and the squigs that were kind of part of the Tyranid range when they were first floating around. This is the first proper incarnation of the Tyranids, and this was what I fell in love with back in second edition when I started playing it in like 95, I want to say 95, 96. I know we don't do numbers here, but it was about then.
Oh no, we can do years. We just don't compare them to now with numbers.
Guys, let me know how the mix is, the sound mix. Make sure it's all good. That I'm not too loud, or the guys aren't overbearing in the mix. And yeah, I've just been waiting for the codex for so long. Hey Kevin, how you doing? Are you doing all right? My volume's low. Okay, let's bump that up a little bit.
Sounds okay.
Cool. So yeah, I mean, I didn't actually get this codex for a while because when you're a kid and you're first getting into Warhammer, and it was it wasn't cheap even back then. It was still a cost, and you're like, well, I could buy a codex or I could buy this awesome model, and I'm like, I'm going to buy the model. So the first time that we tried playing, let me just turn the gain up a little bit. The first time that we started playing with the Tyranids, we actually made up most of the rules. So we had like termagants running around with toughness 5 and stuff like that. It's like we had no idea what we were doing, but we had fun. We had fun. So we
doesn't sound far off.
Really tough adaptation.
Yeah, that's it exactly. Just got extended carapace. That was all. Or was it bonded exoskeleton that added?
One of them was toughness. One of them was save.
Yeah,
and then there was a third one.
That's right. Yeah.
Reinforced chitium was.
Yeah, because your bonded exoskeleton. Oh man, that codex was so good. We might have to do that one as well, actually. To be fair, because I think that's one of the best third edition. I love this one, but I think third edition did something with the Tyranids. The way you can make your own Tyranid army just took it to another level.
Yeah. That they went full xenomorph with the third edition one.
Oh, did they ever? Yeah, well, the Hive Tyrant was basically an alien queen.
That was great.
And it's just like, yeah, James Cameron is going to sue somebody.
I have all 8 codexes open at the moment because I was going through them all earlier.
Outstanding effort.
Yeah, it's weird. It went from like this really sort of high coloured, all over the place sort of look, to the xenomorph, and then eventually space crustaceans.
Yes. Very unified look as time went on, because it always used to be, as we'll see in a minute. I mean, if we just scroll to the next page, you'll probably see it. Yeah, here you go. So everything was different colours. Your termagants were red. Your geniuses were universally purple. Your Tyranid warriors were normally red. And then, everything else was up to you, really. My gargoyles, because I was a complete dick, I painted all different colours, including oranges and things like that, because I was stupid and didn't know any better. And
I'm a child.
Exactly, that's it. And what I did was, zoom in a little bit on this actually, was I got the flying bases, because even back then the flying bases weren't great. So I snipped off the top and then put like a small pin or like a paper clip in there, and then drilled a tiny hole in the gargoyle's bum. But inevitably what had happened was all the fucking gargoyles would start spinning round on the
yeah, because they are slightly too loose. Always the fun with metal models.
Yeah.
No mercy.
But yeah, you look at the Tyranid army here for second edition, and you've got to say, like, they just don't look like that anymore. Like back then, they are just some kind of really weird 80s, 90s weird army of monstered aliens. And now the design language to them is completely different.
Yeah.
I love in that image just how utterly overshadowed the Hive Tyrant is by the other big bads at the bottom.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Like the Screamer Killer is just like massively more like imposing.
On top of the building and nobody really notices. Yeah, I mean, the Lictor was a great model back then as well. My first ever Tyranid purchase was, well, actually, I think my first ever Warhammer purchase was a box of 6 Gene Stealers, the 6 for £5 little mini box you could get that we got a local news agent we had on Canvey Island, because there was no Games Workshop on Canvey Island.
Shocker.
Didn't really go to Southend very much. So where we used to go was Basildon, and I don't know if you guys
Yeah.
remember the arcades, galleries up in the
Yeah,
Eastgate
I
Centre.
don't even think there was many true humans on Canvey Island either. There still is.
Some would say that's still the case. But yeah, I think like there was just something about these. I mean, I wasn't so much a fan of the goofy Tyranid warriors, if I'm being honest, the ones that look like turkeys.
Oh, with the Bugs Bunny teeth.
Thanks.
The ones from Advanced Space Crusade.
Yeah, exactly. Thanksgiving Revenge. Turkey
Yeah,
bites
I've still
back.
got 6 of those in my Advanced Space Crusade box.
But yeah, I mean, there was just something about this when I saw it. You know, you didn't have so many. And oh yeah, Kevin, we're going to get like into all the gameplay for the Tyranids, because I loved the Tyranid table that you rolled before the game. We're definitely going to get into that. That was brilliant. Mess up your opponent's army before you even started, you know. But
Poor Jones.
yeah, poor Jones. Yeah, exactly. But back then, when you didn't have so many factions, the Tyranids really did seem different to the other stuff that you'd seen. You know, there was a lot more variation. They played completely different. They felt completely different. There wasn't so many choices. You know, Nidzilla wasn't really much of an option, because it was basically Carnifexes and you know, Screamer Killers and Hive Tyrants were your big models, and Lictors, and that's about it. So yeah.
I think the Tyranids. You know, as for a bit of context, I'm a few years younger than you two, and when second edition was about, I was sort of about 9 to 10 years old, and when you're that kind of age and you're trying to get to grips with 40k and your mates are getting to grips with it, you know, you can understand Space Marines, you understand Orcs, they're you know how the gameplay works, but Tyranids were just something that was so far out there that no one in my group of friends had any Tyranids. The only one that did was me, and it was inadvertently from Space Hulk.
Right. Yeah.
But I had the Gene Stealers, and that was as far as it went.
Yeah. No, I was the only Tyranid player as well. In our group, my armies were just Ultramarines and Tyranids, and that was nearly entirely as a result of the High Fleet Behemoth Battle for Macrack, as it later got known, the first Tyrannic War. I just read all that, and I was like, this is all amazing. And I was just like, yep, Tyranids and Space Marines in my army. And obviously, I just collected it over time, as you used to have to do back then. Didn't buy a whole Tyranid army, just got them very, very slowly. So have a look at this awesome codex. Obviously, the cover was by David Gallagher, but here's that Mark Gibbons piece. And I love Mark Gibbons' artwork, man. I've seen a guy who had got a tattoo of this. It looks amazing.
What is it? The Screamer Killer?
The Screamer Killer on the index page. Well, the inside the front cover, yeah.
That's awesome. You can tell this is going to be a good one because it's by Lord Chambers.
Oh, yes. Yes. This is probably one of my favourite second edition codexes. I don't think there was any particularly awful ones, but this one was just really amazing.
I think art-wise it stands out.
Oh, man. Mark Gibbons, I think what might have been his very best here. His very, very best here. So, yeah, I mean, by the time they got to this, they'd done Kraken and Icar 4. So, I mean, Christ knows the last time Icar 4 was mentioned. The galaxy seems to be getting smaller in 40k, not bigger. Like, even this new 500 worlds thing, I'm like, what, Ultramar again? Is there not somewhere else? Seriously. And that's coming from an Ultramarines player. But as you can see, it's, you know, got your contents here. Another brilliant piece by Mark Gibbons. I look at that, and I just think aliens. You know, like the bit where Hicks...
Oh, in the ceiling.
Finally realises that they're up in the ceiling and goes and puts the thing up. And that's exactly what that looks like to me.
You ain't reading it right.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Yeah.
I'd be funny. It's like
that's one of my
there's
scary
too many
moments
ways to read
film,
emotion.
when Vasquez goes, Hudson may be right, and it's like, oh shit.
Yeah. It's like, I've been funny. How can you read a motion tracker wrong? It's literally blobs moving towards you with a number on it.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what I'm saying. That you know, because Vasquez is always sort of like going up against Hudson in that dynamic. They're the foil to each other. He's insulting to her. She's insulting to him. She probably doesn't think of that much of his abilities as a soldier. Like he says, he was in for the minimum turn and getting out, getting his money and going.
Well, he was a tech guy, wasn't he?
He's tech operative in the unit.
You know, and you know when she
run a bypass,
looks up, exactly, that's it, And when she sort of looks over and says that, you know, he may be right, that's when you're like, oh shit, if Vasquez says it, then could be in big trouble here. Little Wayne.
I mean, you even looking at that artwork, you can see like on the Gene Stealer's shoulders, it's got like the kind of ridges that the Xenomorph has. Like they're clearly, you can see 100% what they're doing, right down to the grating it's climbing over.
Oh god, I mean, wait until we get to the Hormigans. I mean, the Hormigans were just totally Xenomorphs. You know, they just had spikes and scythes for hands, and that was it. So so there's loads of stuff. You know, it was just it was very, very different back then. I think now now that you've got the Zerg and you've got all that kind of things, I don't think Tyranids are so special anymore. But you need to bear in mind that back then this was really quite unique.
I will point out that StarCraft 2 Zerg developed by Andy Chambers.
Correct. Yes. I mean, there's the rumor. I think it's true, is that StarCraft 2 started out as a Warhammer game.
It did.
I think the rumor is that Warcraft, the very first one, started off as a Warhammer game, but they wouldn't give them the license.
It was the same for StarCraft. StarCraft was initially going to be a Warhammer 40,000 project. And
it doesn't surprise me.
There was some sort of contract issue, and they ended up making it into their own thing.
Doesn't surprise me in the slightest.
Which is why you have what is essentially Space Marines and Tyranids in it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And sort of...
and kind of Eldar as well.
Yeah, really. The Protoss.
You know, the Protoss are, every time I look at them, I'm just like, yeah, that's basically Eldar. It's quite obvious, you know. Not to say, you know, Games Workshop was doing anything particularly, you know, sort of revolutionary in those times anyway, because let's face it, the Eldar are just space elves. That's what they are.
Yeah.
That's the archetype. But the Tyranids just felt like something a little bit different. They weren't space orcs. They weren't space elves. You know, they were this massive alien eating machine that just
they're arguably the most alien of the alien species, right down to the fact that, you know, not just in design and look, but also the fact that they're supposed to be extra galactic.
That's it, exactly, isn't it? Extra galactic. As big as Warhammer 40,000 is, a lot of people forget that it is still confined to our galaxy. The Imperium. It is, you know, it's not, we're not talking like intergalactic. It is just
planetary.
It's planetary, exactly. Intersystem maybe, but you know,
no Beastie Boys here.
Definitely not intergalactic. No Beastie Boys, exactly. But the Tyranids are from another galaxy, and we have no idea what's going on. I mean, they could be running from something.
Yeah, I always like that rumor.
Yeah, people get it bandied around. It's kind of like, yeah, but what could possibly?
And that's the thing, isn't it? Something even worse.
They've kind of dispelled that with the Horus Heresy. They've explained why.
Yeah, they did Pharos, didn't they? And I didn't like that so much, if I'm being honest. I get the idea. It's kind of like ringing a dinner bell, but like our galaxy is one of just many, and I don't like. I kind of like the idea that, you know, they're out there in their infinite numbers. Because when you think about the warp, I mean, you think about the warp. Is the warp contained to our galaxy?
Can't be.
Don't know if we're getting too deep into the weeds here, but it shouldn't be, should it? The warp should be something where you could probably get into galactic if you knew how to navigate the warp in that way. So yeah, I was never quite sure on the Pharos thing, but yeah, it's what they've done now, isn't it? I suppose so. You know, but I loved. I don't know if this is even really covered in the Tyranid Codexes anymore. You know, the first contacts of the Tyranids, where basically it is like the outer monitoring posts.
Just Tyrant.
Slowly start going out, blinking out at the edge of the Imperium, and then, you know, it has to be looked into. You know, and
always reminded me of
Krypton goes out there.
Reminds me of the Star Trek thing where colonies started going silent, and the Romulans and the
yes, yeah, very much
the
like that.
Federation were like, "What is going on here?" It turns out to be the Borg, and they're ripping entire settlements out of across the planets.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. And it kind of like that. You just literally just the furthest little reaches. It'd be like if you had like say you had like a medieval type empire, and your outer posts were getting raided by like a massive force of marauders or something like that. And the beacons just start going out one by one as it comes towards you. There's something really, really cool about that. And then obviously they go out there, or Cryptman goes out there, and he's just like, oh shit. It's like, this is something that we are not ready for at all. Like, we fought loads of other stuff, but we are not ready for this at all. And Tyranids, or Tyranids.
Tyranids.
Now, I've always said Tyranids.
I've always said Tyranids, but I have heard Tyranid.
I usually say Tyranid
because they're named after the planet, and the way that is so weird because of this stupid English language, and it is stupid. As soon as you take Tyran and put id on the end of it, Tyran turns to Tyran. Do you know what I mean? It sounds that way, but
only for you commoners.
On its own, you would read that as Tyran, not Tyran.
Yeah. So that's Tyranids.
So Tyranids. Although saying that, if you want to go even more into the etymological weeds, how would you say martyr?
Mitre.
You wouldn't say martyr. You say martyr. So maybe it is Tyran rather than Tyran, but it looks like Tyran. Like you say tyrant. Tyrannical.
Yeah, I think that's where the root of it comes from, isn't it?
Exactly.
Tyrant.
You don't use
things like the Hive Tyrant, and
you've got a Norse god. You've got a Norse god Tyr, which is Tyr.
Yes, exactly. It's like the old Abaddon thing, isn't it? Is it Abaddon? Is it Abaddon?
I'll argue everyone into the great. It's absolutely Abaddon.
You've got loads of people who call the Dark Eldar city Comora. But it's quite clearly Comora because it's
Comora.
Comora. That's the
it's the same with the artillery tank for the Imperial Guard. Is it a basilisk or a basilisk?
Yes.
Basilisk. Yes. What the fuck is a basilisk?
It's a basilisk.
Yeah, no, people. I've heard people call it a basilisk.
Those people.
Are wrong, but
the
superhero Spiderman.
Spoderman.
This is Spiderman.
But yeah, and we've got loads more cool names for stuff coming up as it is. But yeah, I mean, you've got this kind of new force that's come in, and they eat everything. They're like
a horrific Pac-Man at the edge of space.
Yeah,
outposts. Chomp, chomp, chomp.
They leave absolutely nothing. Like a planet is just dead after they go
just
past.
Ball of rock.
Absolutely dead. And that's a terrifying idea because it's almost like the undead. Like when you fight the undead, the dead that you have get turned into more undead. So you're suddenly fighting your own dead as well as the undead. I know, it's not real, but in the Tyranids, it's the same kind of thing because what the Tyranids do is consume the biomass and then turn it into more bloody Tyranids.
Yep.
So it's just this constant war of attrition as the Imperium just keeps, trying to hold the Tyranids off one planet at a time. And I just loved all of that idea behind it. I was like, this is just such a cool idea. This feels like an actual threat to the Imperium. Not much feels like a threat to the Imperium these days. Back then, this really did. It was like, well, this is the obvious answer, surely, because we didn't have Necrons. It was like the Tyranids win. They eat everything unless they're stopped. And you don't have that so much now. So that was really, really cool. And yeah, basically you get the kind of grimdark kind of feel to it, and it is sacrifice. It's like, Tyran is lost. Like the only thing we can do is try and warn everybody else because everything is absolutely bollocks.
I will interject here quickly, and I'll say, as much as we exceedingly dislike 10th edition, they did a good bunch of things right with the Tyranids when it came to getting their new codex and new models, as well as a whole bunch of things wrong.
If you say the Neuro Lecture, I'm deleting you.
But I will say, you know me better than that, that the section on First Contact and Tyrant in the 10th edition codex is almost 2 pages.
Okay.
It's got more in that than it does in this one.
Does it cover the Behemoth and Kraken Wars, or does it leave those to like soundbite bits?
I'll just have a quick gander through.
I mean,
I was quite impressed that there's almost a whole 2 pages on Tyrant. I was like, damn, like nice.
The advantage of this codex has over that, though, is that this codex was laying the groundwork, whereas that's had like 20 odd years of 30 years of development time.
There was a lot of codexes between, I would say, probably between 4th through to 7th, maybe 8th, that were virtually copy paste of each other.
Yes.
Nothing annoys me more than when you buy a new codex and it's just the same information that's in the previous one. There's no new angle or scope to it. Really irritates me.
Just a copy paste. So yeah, but yeah, basically Tyrann is completely fucked. I mean, anything gets detailed quite simply how, you know, it's just ground down in more ways than one. They fire till the defense lasers run dry, and the Tyranids keep coming. You know, they sacrifice sector after sector after sector, and the Tyranids just keep coming. And no matter what they can do, you know, that's it. The Tyranids win. So Tyrann goes completely silent. They just get, you know, one literal warning out, and then Kryptonite's like, yeah, next up is Ultramar. So we need to get this sorted out real fast. And the Battle for Macragge has had quite a few retcons over the years. I think it's fair to say.
Yes.
Some would say additions, and I'm not 100% sure in that. I always preferred this version. You know, later they had things like, oh, Karlgar went up against the bloody, because we need to have the Swarm Lord. That's a new thing. We need to have something to fight the Swarm Lord, so it's Karlgar again. You know,
some editions they've added stuff in for the sake of name dropping things.
Exactly.
Like the 5th edition Blood Angels Codex notes that the second company went to the aid of Ultramar for the War of Macragge. And I never liked that. I was like, the Blood Angels, when you look at galactically where they sit,
yeah, they wouldn't have time.
No. And plus, why would it be a first founding chapter that goes to save a first founding? You know, there's
as you
1,000
that
chapters.
is a blatant name drop, isn't it? I mean,
yeah.
The whole idea behind Macragge was the Ultramarines stood and fell alone. And again, that was another thing that I really liked about the Ultramarines. Like, they lost their entire first company. I was just like, oh.
Luckily, the Blood Angels turned up. Luckily for the Tyranids, because if the Flesh Terrors had turned up, there would have been nothing left.
But I really liked the Battle for Macragge, because there's a space battle, which, you know, you could have alongside your ground battle, because Karlgar was in space for a lot of it, including the sacrificing of one of the astral something. Where is it here? There's so much great stuff in it. They sacrificed one of the cruisers, basically.
What I like about the Battle for Macragge is the first company gets wiped, and
completely.
What's cool about that is the fact that, you know, it shows the Ultramarine, the Space Marines, especially the Ultramarines, can lose, even though they ultimately win the war.
Yep.
The Tyranids are a severe threat. They are wrecking the Ultramarines.
Dominus Astra. So the Dominus Astra basically completely bollocksed, charge into the middle of the Hive fleet, and then just detonates its warp engines. That's grimdark. That's 40k. That's, you know, do you know what I mean? That's kind of survival at any cost.
If you've ever played Battlefleet Gothic, that's catastrophic.
Oh yes.
When a warp core goes.
Yeah. So yeah, you just got this, you know, great story here for Battle for Macragge. And as I say, once I'd read that, I was just like, yeah, Ultramarines and Tyranids, I am there. You know, and I mean, did they do a novel of Battle for Macragge?
I think there's been some short stories, but I don't think there's been a full-on novel. The Ultramarines novel series covers Tarsus Ultra, I think.
That's right, yeah, exactly, with Ventress, who seems to have been forgotten about now that they've got bloody Titus.
Titus is just Ventress too.
He really is. But yeah, you got some great stuff. Great stuff. Like a mighty Tyranid Lord. I didn't even say Hive Tyrant. Yeah. And he's got Captain Fabian. Got some great battles. Great stuff. I love all of that. All of that stuff. And it's only now that they found out that that they was using gene stealers as well. Because before that, they knew about gene stealers. They just figured there was something completely different. And like, oh, they're Tyranids.
From the moons of Yumgal.
Yeah.
That's it from Umgal, yeah. They're still slightly different Umgal with their feeder tendrils to normal Tyranids. But
Very
I think the
lovely.
theory is that they got left behind by a very early Splinter Fleet like a millennia ago, and they just adapted.
But the feeder tendrils are actually present on the Lictor as well.
They are. Yeah. Well, they're both Vanguard organisms, aren't they?
What was the Forge World model as well? There was one that was
A Melanthrope.
The Hive.
No.
Yeah.
The Doom
Yes.
of Malin.
No, it wasn't. It was basically
Malon's
just a
never got one.
floaty thing that ate stuff behind them. It wasn't really a mainline combat model.
I've got one on the shelf. I'm certain it's a Melanthrope. People
Yeah,
used
it
to
might
call
be.
it Mr.
Might be a
Burns.
Melanthrope.
It's still hunched over with like
Oh,
little long
right. Yeah,
fingers at the
the
front.
tail kind of goes down below it, and then it's got like
Yeah.
carapace and a little head poking out of it. Almost looks like a toxifrope.
Yeah.
Without all the tentacles.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Almost looks like a venom throat. But yeah, they're a lot taller. They're slightly taller than a Carnifex.
But then you've got
Yeah,
this.
I really like cool stuff like that.
Yeah, they got binned off, unfortunately. But yeah, they're kind of like a Ripper supervisor. Once the battle's been done, they just kind of mosey around and just sort out all the Rippers and make sure everything's eaten up.
Basically, Tyranid HR.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah,
That all works great.
they were synapses and then they weren't synapses from what I remember for the rules, and then they were again.
Yeah. And yeah, this is again another great John Blanche piece. It's just there's something about his artwork. There really is.
The longer you look at it, the more stuff you
Yeah,
spot. There's
it's
so
great.
much going on there.
There's so much going on, and like not all of it is strictly canon, but yeah, there's amazing stuff. Just love it. We just see more look.
Love the
what you
Biotitan.
see. Yeah, in the background, so great, and even the
You reckon that was the first one?
Exocrine, the epic Exocrine here.
Oh yeah.
And if you look behind that, there's a Harrispex with the claws pointing over.
Didn't they have like a Ballistus as well, which was like a variant of the Exocrine in Epic? I'm trying to remember.
No,
I remember the Norn Queen.
you had
That's all I remember.
You had the Exocrine, you had the Harrispex, and you had the Trigon. Oh no, you did. You had one called a Dactylus.
That might be what I'm thinking of. It was like a weird catapult.
It was, yeah. It had two balls. Lol. It used to throw over. Oh man, yeah. It was like an artillery piece, man. We should get a 4K version of that. Fuck the Maliceptor. Give us a Dactylus. You haven't mined that yet. And then this one would be a Hierophant.
Well, they're not going to make any of this. They're too busy making the Tismnids.
But yeah, even like the Venom, not Venom Cannon, Death Spitter. You can identify the language there and see that.
Still curiously missing from Space Marine 2.
They haven't put it in at all, have they?
We've
got the
been missing
Zoanthrope.
that game for a long time, but yeah, I don't think they have.
Yes, that's what Zoanthropes used to look like back in the day, not what they are now. The whole reason they look like what they are now is because at the third to fourth edition, they decided that all of the Tyranids would be based off of a different race, so that each type of Tyranid had basically evolved
As an adaptation
from battling different enemies, which is why all of the Zoanthropes started looking like Eldar.
It was incorporated their DNA.
Yeah.
Which is why the Vors have kind of like orky brute faces.
Yep, exactly. And
the warriors
Hive
were all based
Guard,
off of the Space Marines.
Yeah, the Hive Guard were meant to have like Space Marine armor, shields, and stuff like that. As you said, the Biovore suddenly started to look very, very orky.
Yeah.
The Imperial Guard weren't worth copying, unfortunately. They're just eating too many of them. But then, after Behemoth, so like, we got rid of Behemoth, awesome. Yeah. And then there was Centuries of Peace. And they were like, oh, remember those Tyranids? Oh man, I'm glad they're not coming back.
Au contraire, Blackadder.
Exactly. But it was more insidious. The Tyranids had learned. And this is the scary thing about Tyranids, is they evolve each time and they come back. It's like the Borg before the Borg.
They've adapted.
Yes, exactly. Although, to be fair, what we're looking at, Best of Both Worlds 91, so this would be after the Borg. So Andy might have nicked it from there. But yeah, they
I was thinking First Contact.
They learn what they need to do, and they do it. So the next time round with Icar 4, they kind of did like a stealth fleet where they started infiltrating places and causing rebellion. And this is where you got your Gene-Stealer cult kind of uprises from, where PDFs would suddenly be like, yep, we're not helping you anymore. We've got these new overlords. What are these new overlords like? Don't know, but they're coming soon.
The Emperor's always had 4 arms.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what are you
exactly.
talking about?
Well, this is what I covered in my in my novel that I was writing, where I've done like a loose Gene-Stealer Lovecraftian type thing, and I did it for a drug called the Emperor's Caress, where basically all these people are taking this drug, but what it's actually doing is like improving their connection to the hive mind.
Is it a yellow drug?
It is actually a yellow drug. Yes.
Yes, I know where you're going.
I've done book 1. I need to finish book 2. I need to get that finished. Because what it was,
Nice.
just to segue very quickly, was this book was basically based around a series of games that me and Lee were fighting. So we'd fight the game, and then the result of the game would affect the narrative of the book and what would happen. And I just made the characters around it.
You should look into chucking that on Amazon.
Better than the AI slot. I think it's Games Workshop assuming that's the problem. But yeah, I mean, you know, it was fun to do and everything. But yeah, very much in that kind of thing where, you know, they do just take over covertly, and that was what was going on here. But what I did was I had like because by this time you'd got the Genes to the cults had come back in like 8th or 9th, whatever it was, and I had a mining town or installation called Endomore. Can anybody get the Lovecraftian connection there?
No, I can't say that one's got me, I'm afraid.
Are you making this up?
So endo, in, more, mouth.
Innsmouth.
Innsmouth.
Oh, I see what you did there.
So yeah, just little things like this, and it was a really cool little project. I've got a full book. I mean, it's on the Conclave of Har blog if you want to go read it. The whole thing's on there. Most of part 2 is. I'd never finished part 2. I will eventually, hopefully, get round to it. Because what happens is the Inquisitor turns up and starts finding stuff, and it's going to kick off big time. But
And they would have got away with it too if it wasn't for those meddling nids.
exactly, yeah. So Icar 4 was like, you know, they did a big campaign in 2nd edition. This would be like your Vigilus of 2nd edition, Icar 4, and it was like, yeah, you can fight battles for Icar 4, and we're going to fight a battle at headquarters, and this is going to be, you know, how the plot goes and stuff like that. And that was the next big fight, basically. Icar 4 was basically completely taken over by Gene-Stealers, and the Tyranids turned up, and it was like, crap. So the Ultramans went out there again and tried to save the day with lots of other dudes as well. So yeah, got some really cool stuff here. And this is when they first found out about Gene-Stealer hybrids, because they'd seen Gene-Stealers on like the moons of Umal and stuff like that, but they figured they were a different species. It was only at Icar 4 that were like, oh crap, these are hybrids. They're actually infiltrating humanity now. This could be like a really big problem. And here's a rare Wayne England full piece, rather than the little bits that he does to decorate the codexes. And again, you know, when you look at this is written as a story, which really pulls you into it. One of the problems with GW lore these days is it's written in a very impersonal way, like it's just a report.
Yeah.
And you don't feel as much in the story. This was written from the perspective, it was a third person perspective, but it was very personal and showed you the actual people. So Whereas here it's like each strobing flash of the Stormbolters showed the foe getting closer. They swept over the bodies piled in front of the Terminators and Ultramarines and tore into the Terminators. 3 of the armor giants. You know, it would just be saying something like, "Oh, and then the Gene Stealers attacked the Terminators and they were wiped out," or something like that. You wouldn't get this kind of in-depth feeling of being there, the detail of being there.
It'd just be very matter of fact.
Yeah,
exactly. Because they don't want to take away from the Black Library now. That's the thing is, you know, you used to basically get the Black Library for free in your codexes, and now they kind of want to sell you it. So yeah, ICAR 4 Hive Fleet Kraken was basically the genius of the cults got involved and showed that the Tyranids could fight in a very, very different way. And yet again, yeah, beat Kraken, but Kraken was lots of different, rather than Behemoth. I think there's a picture in here actually. If we could look. I'm pretty sure there's a picture of the Hive Fleets.
As in, like a map. There is.
Yeah,
it's
here it is. So if you look,
it's in the
Behemoth,
middle where the coloured bit.
Yeah. So Behemoth, as you can see, was just like one direct line going straight through until it hit McCrag and then stopped. But with Kraken, they learned their lesson. And they were like, okay, no direct one hit. We're going to go into lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of different sectors all at the same time and do the whole thing all over again because they can't fight us on all fronts. Oh, look, Devlin and Mud. Used to love Devlin Mud. So, yeah, you know, Kraken gave everybody a little bit of a spanking, including these poor chaps here called the Emperor's Scythes.
Oh, Scythes of the Emperor.
Yeah.
they all got eaten.
Did not have a good time.
Really
well, thanks to the heresy, we know why they had it coming.
True.
Oh, look, there's Sotha.
Idiots. So yeah, it even says here, like, you know, they attacked in different ways. So you can see, you know, all these cool little details and stuff like that. And then it must have been in later editions where they started talking about the one that came under the galactic plane.
Oh, it came up from below, yeah.
Yeah.
Just an interesting side note on that Hive Fleet Kraken image on the screen.
Yep.
You've got Forge World Gryer,
Yes.
Factory World Gryer, which is where Space Marine takes place.
Yes, it is. You're right.
And Bolt Gun.
Yeah. Look forward to Bolt Gun too. I think that's going to be awesome. Really am looking forward to that one.
I thoroughly enjoyed Bolt Gun.
Yeah, it's loads of fun. Yeah. I'm not sure, like, loads of replayability once you've beat it. You kind of, you know, beating it if you want to like, play it again at some point. But while I played it, it was brilliant. Just running around, just shooting shit. The only thing I didn't like about Bolt Gun, there was a few bits of platforming in it. I was just like, no, please, no, not platforming, not in a first-person shooter like this.
If that's what qualifies as a boomer shooter, then I'm all about boomer shooters.
Yeah, that's it. That is it. That is a boomer shooter.
Not even boomers. Like, boomers are in their 70s.
Oh, for God, let it go.
Yeah, I know. It's just that's what it's called.
Gen X shooter doesn't sound as good.
One true generation that invented shooters.
So yeah, now you get your bestiary.
Leviathan came up from below the galactic plane.
Leviathan, that's the one. Thank you. Yes, the super sneaky one. You know,
yeah.
Sort of like it's like Elmer Fudd in the cartoon, like shh, hunting the Imperium.
It's a high fleet psych.
Yeah. So yeah, then you get your bestiary, and this isn't even. This is why I love these codexes so much. This isn't even like the army list with the points and everything. This is just making this thing sound awesome.
And
that artwork as well. I mean, every page kind of inspires you to want to collect them,
exactly
even if you don't collect them.
Exactly that. And this one's got a barbed strangler rather than the venom cannon. Although, oddly enough, this one appears to have a double-barreled barbed strangler. I'm not sure if Mark missed something there.
Might be a Stranglethorn cannon in that case.
It's also that sword he's got seems to have lightning wreathed around it.
I always figured that was bioelectricity.
Yeah,
that would make sense. Yeah,
bioelectricity. And back then, the weapons were very much kind of weapons that they held. You need to understand. Second edition Tyranids did actually have weapons. You could drop a sword, for example. These days, it's like your bloody scything talons and stuff like that. Back then, they were more like weapons that you could drop.
I must admit, I do prefer the integrated weapons rather
They
than.
I agree.
did
No,
still
I agree.
integrate.
I agree. They
They,
feel more like a creature.
I mean, yeah, they did still integrate. So, for instance, like a bone sword would, like the Tyranid would pick it up and it would dig into the
Yeah,
Tyranid's
it would
armored
fuse
hand,
in. Yeah, exactly.
and it would power itself from the Tyranid.
Yeah, but then they could drop it afterwards, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So
like symbiotic sort of.
yeah, basically like a symbiotic creature. Exactly that. That's exactly what it was. It was a symbiotic creature. We'll get into that in a second. Whereas now they're much more animal-like. I mean, back then they kind of felt like aliens. Now they feel like another kind of animal. And I'm not saying that one way is better than the other in any particular way. It's just it is the way it is now.
Both cool.
You know, they're both cool. Yeah, exactly. They're both cool. But, you know, this was the first time round. This was the first time out for the Tyranids, and I was loving it. I was just like, these guys are so cool. You know, and as you say, even at this early stage in the Codex, page 18, bang, rules. We're not worried about scaring off Timmy with rules. It's fine. Rules aren't that scary. Don't worry about it. It's all good.
Timmy eat rule.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's all good. And yeah, it would just make everything sound absolutely awesome. So you'd have this awesome bit of text and a really cool little picture to go with it, and you'd be like, yes, I want one of these. I want one of those in my army. I want it to wreck my mates, and I want to make pew pew sounds while I do it. You know, it was just you just got all of that, and you still got these little boxes with these little, you know, soundbite bits and stuff like that that put you in the place of back in the place of the Imperium. You know, but yeah, it was just awesome. It's like when I was reading about flesh hooks in this codex, and it was like they're monomolecular, and I was just like, oh man, that sounds so cool. You know, that's why they're so sharp. And yeah, it's just great. It's just awesome. You know, there's your Carnifex, and the total span of the Tyranid army was like 14 units. That was it. Now there's like, I don't know, 40.
But like you can tell it was a different time. I mean, look at the stat line on that Carnifex. It's toughness 8,
Brilliant.
10 wounds, and it's got a 3+ save on 2d6.
Yeah, man, it's basically
what I really
basically a
liked-
Terminator with 10 wounds.
Just nails.
I like that I wasn't so keen on the Hive Tyrant because, like I say, like the fact that they pick up and hold their weapons was a bit human for me. And then you go down one page and you look at the Carnifex, and what even is that? Like, it's like something from the depths, like absolutely hell faced. I love it.
Yeah. I mean, this was basically because I mean, I think when did Doom come out?
Must have been a similar era.
One of you guys must know. But this basically reminded me of something out of Doom. I was like, this is the kind of thing that I would expect to come in from Doom. In actual fact, bolt gun makers, why aren't you making one of these with 2nd edition Tyranids? It'd be amazing.
Yeah.
As far as the Hive Tyrant goes with holding the weapons, I figured that was just because of its higher synapse capacity. That synapse.
Yeah, I got that. I just from a visual point of view, to me, it was just that it's very human. Like it's using tools, whereas when you look at the Carnifex, nothing about that is remotely
Kevin
human.
said just 93, so yeah, that'd be about right.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
All right, I'll give you the credit. Oh, calm down, just didn't hear. That's all. It's all good. It's all good.
God damn.
But yeah, I mean, I always feel it was a kind of synapse. As I say, they were kind of aliens, but they were being directed by this hive mind thing overall. They weren't mindless beasts. That was what I got, basically. Nowadays, you get a bit more of a kind of a mindless beast kind of thing out of it.
Well, most of the time, they're not mindless beasts.
Most of the time, yeah, exactly.
I always thought the Tyranid should, to me, it always felt like they should be like they are an intelligence, but they're not an intelligence like us.
Yeah, exactly. They're an intelligence we can't understand.
They're completely alien.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they are basically one giant bioorganism, I suppose, in most ways.
Because the I think it's because the Hive Tyrant's kind of anatomically roughly humanoid.
Very humanoid.
Where
yeah.
when you look at the Carnifex, it's absolutely not.
Yes, there's nothing about it that looks humanoid at all. Yeah. But you know, your Tyranid warriors were still like the lieutenants of your armies.
I think the models always let down the artwork for them.
The metal ones were okay. Plastic ones, not quite so much.
Yeah, plastic wasn't quite there at that point, was it?
It was not there.
I mean, just look at the Terminators from Space Hulk.
Yeah, exactly. But even these boys were weapon skill 6, ballistic skill 4. And that's the thing. Tyranids were always better at combat than they were at shooting. Always the way.
Yeah.
But even he had this hive mind kind of thing where they would make anything around them immune to psychology. Nice and simple. Got lictors. No picture for the lictors. Shame.
Oh, no. But the rules are great, though.
Oh, yeah, brilliant. Zoanthrope. I had 3 Zoanthropes. Funnily enough, I sold my Metal Tyranid army, obviously way back in the day, to a place called Caliber Books. And I was playing
I used to go there.
a school club that Paul Gaynor ran and came up against my old army. I was like, I recognise that orange and blue Zoanthrope. Only one psycho would be mad enough to paint a Zoanthrope orange and blue.
That was you.
I was like, this is my army.
I always used to go into Caliber Books and just stare at the armor cast titans he had in there.
Oh, dude, they had the Reaver in the window, didn't they? Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Where was that?
It was on Westcliff Road. Oh, well, not Westcliff Road. It was in Westcliff on that long road.
Okay.
More or less where the so it's just down from Chalkwood Park. More or less opposite where the Tesco's is now.
Okay.
There was Caliber Books.
I went in there about 10 years ago, and it was just a few books left.
Yeah,
there was nothing.
Completely gone. Yeah.
It was so heartbreaking to go in there and see it like that.
Used to get all the cards in there, like trading cards and stuff like that as well. That's where I picked up the Alien versus Predator trading card for the first time.
Well, he had loads of like boxes of just bits on the bottom, and I remember I spent about an hour in there once. I must have been about 9 years old. I spent an hour piecing together a Space Crusade Advanced Dreadnought, and like piecing it all together, and then I bought it for like £3 off him.
Nice. Yeah, I used to love Caliber Books. There was a little one as well. Do you remember when in the Victoria? Sorry, guys, we're getting a bit Essexy here. In the in the Victoria Centre in Southend, back when it was all like open and multi-levels, and there was like a market in there where probably where Poundland is now, to be honest. And there was a little Caliber Books stall in there with this guy called Steve, who looked like a hobo, but was actually a really talented sculptor. And he used to just make out of clay like these amazing demons and dragons and stuff while he was there. Huh. He was just basically manning this little stall that was just a tiny little stall, had a few blisters and stuff like that. But yeah, that was those were the days. Christ, we're so old. It's so very old.
That reminds me, this is my last day of being this age.
It is, yes. 2 hours.
The before times.
Indeed, 2 hours to go. I mean, at least you're not leaving a decade behind or anything like that, though.
No, not yet. Not yet.
That would be a bit harsh.
All is not lost, not yet.
Got another 3 years to go for that nonsense.
And talking about melting Timmy's brain, let's have a look at a force card free Warp Blast. So it's got a 60-inch range, strength 7, damage D10, -4 save. It's D12 plus D10 plus D6 plus 7 armor penetration.
How the fuck did they work out armor pen for stuff like that?
I don't know. I genuinely don't know, man. The assault cannon was broken, like absolutely broken.
2-inch blast. A 2-inch
You've
blast.
Not seen random until you've dealt with that.
Like that is anything from 10 to 35. Jesus. Like I said, Timmy's face.
I think that's what the kids would call today swingy.
Yeah.
To say the least.
But then you look at what you're going to average on those dice, you're normally going to penetrate something like a Predator or something like that. But you know, I mean, three force cards is a fairly sizable investment in a psychic phase. So yeah, we got Termagants. As I say, we might have got these stats ever so slightly wrong when we played that game where we made them up.
One thing that always makes me chuckle about Termagants is that they go, smaller in size than many other Tyranids. I'm like, they're bigger than people.
Yeah, yes,
yeah, they are.
Still bigger than the average person.
I mean, to be fair, from this picture here, I would say they're probably a bit smaller than a human back then, but now they are certainly a lot bigger. Yes.
Yeah,
I can't believe they haven't changed the name of Termagants yet, considering what Termagant means.
Well, you got
the grumpy woman,
Neurogaunt or whatever
exactly.
they're called now.
Yeah, there's a few.
Neurogaunt,
quite a few of the
tiny
names.
little things. Yeah.
quite a few of the names in this are kind of like, oh, my woman's been giving me some eggs, so now I'm going to make her a monster in a book.
Do you think Andy was having some problems with his missus at the time?
Just that will never speak to us. Like a Harridan.
Exactly, Harridan, yeah.
Well, you
There's a
got
few others.
Harpies somewhere as well.
Harpy,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they came along later on.
And then you got Ripper Swarms. These
My
great
favourite.
little metal,
I love
little metal Ripper Swarms. Ballistic skill 0.
Yeah, which is weird because they evolved to have spine fists
They
after
did
this.
later, yes, exactly, yeah.
I loved them. I love giving mine spine fists. You deep strike them. I remember I had a game against, I think it was Gribbs, and I popped up like 4 bases of Rippers in front of his long fangs and was just like, pew, 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 and just like slowly killed off his guys with spine fists.
Jesus.
He was not
Nice.
happy. I was chuckling away.
Yeah, well, they're always really, really cheap and, disposable, aren't they? Ripper Swarms, a bit like Scarab Swarms.
I love them. I don't know why, especially the Forge World bases that they did. It's just like a pile of Rippers. It's just great.
The Forge World ones were great.
Oh,
They were really nice. Impossible to paint, though.
I've got 6 of those. I fucking love them.
They're so hard to paint because they
I
got all the
always-
tiny little
I
nooks
always
and
prefer
crannies
my,
inside the resin.
I always preferred 40k when it takes itself seriously, and
Yes.
Forge World always took itself seriously with the a lot of its models.
The Dimmer Karen. It's one of my favourite Tyranid models to this day. I think, Alan, you've got an issue with it.
I've got an issue with his stupid split claws, but other than that, I think it's okay.
I absolutely love it. Like, I was at the open day where they debuted it and Trish was there, and I was just like, lady, I'm going to buy one of these immediately. I was one of the first people in the country to get one, I'm sure of it. And I was just like, thank you so much for this because it looks awesome. There's lots of little pits and cracks in the armour. It was also detailed because it was in resin.
Yes.
Well,
it's like the old Trigon, isn't it? The old Trigon had so much more detail than the plastic one.
I was about to say, because like I was, when they brought out like the Forge World Tyranid stuff initially, I was still on my Games Workshop hiatus, like pre-5th. So I never saw any of it. So I didn't see like the original Trigon or the original Flyrant, which was also in resin. To this day, I've still never seen a Flyrant in resin, like one of the proper ones.
Is that the flying Hive Tyrant with the sliding talons?
Yeah.
I've seen that. Thing was magnificent.
Got to get some of those. That's really cool model. Right, gentlemen, you talk amongst yourselves for 2 seconds. I've just realised that I left my beer out on the landing, and I need to go get my beer.
Oh heavens!
Wait a second.
No, I really love a lot of the Forge World Tyranid stuff. I mean, Tyranids are one of those armies where what
detail pays off.
What I like about the lore is also what stops me collecting them. I like the fact that they are like completely alien. They're quite intriguing because of that sort of stuff, and they're where have they come from? There's a lot of mystery and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But what puts me off is the fact that there's no narrative grand plan with them. They're there just to consume.
Yeah, they're kind of like the Cotton Eye Joe of 40k.
Yeah, it kind of stops me being overly invested in them. But I love, like, on a larger sense, I love their lore.
Beer retrieved. Haha, lovely.
Yeah, we've decided that the Tyranids are like the Cotton Eye Joe of 40k because no one really knows where they came from, and no one's really too sure where they're going.
No, that sounds about legit. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, but I mean, one thing that I did kind of notice looking back all over the old stuff is that over time, where they kind of unified the design of Tyranids, I think like demons basically took over the colourful what the fuckness of a quasi alien army, but they certainly don't operate the same way.
No, I think that's fair enough. Yeah, I mean, it was just, I suppose they just didn't want these armies looking too uniform back then. The Tyranids in particular, they're like, how many colours can we put on these? Yes, because this was the day of the white undercoat.
Yeah. And the Goblin Green bases.
Goblin Green bases, sand, nothing else.
Speaking of the paint schemes, I noticed something later on. I'll point it out when we get to it, but it proper made me laugh.
Well, what makes me laugh is on the next page, it's where someone sat down and they went, would you like your model to have a 20-inch move or a flamer template? And someone just went, yes. And they were like, I've been down the pub. Okay, fine.
Oh, what, gargoyles?
Yeah.
Yeah, you tried dealing with a unit of 10 of those when they've got 10 flamer templates.
That's bonkers. It's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
As long as you're not on the receiving end.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, look at that. Strength 3, 1 damage, a -2 save, and D6 +3 armor pen
Yep.
on a template of a 20-inch move.
They were horrific. And the worst thing
And
about them
getting
was you could
huge
take them up, so you
squads.
could fly them up high,
And a deep strike
deep
him.
strike them at any moment.
Yeah.
They couldn't move any further. They could still fire. So like 10 bloody flamer templates to deal with.
Fantastic.
And they
They're
can
doing
even land in hand-to-hand combat if desired.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doing it right. Better than a silly Morlock. I never liked the Morlock when I got introduced in 5th.
That was just
Like,
that was just the we need another kit to build out of the Trigon, wasn't it? That's all that was.
Yeah. Yeah. But
I really like the Red Terror model. That was
like, yeah,
third edition, I think.
I've got 2 of those actually. You can have one if you want.
With the Red Terror.
Yeah. I've got like a resin one and a metal one. I'm not sure how I ended up with 2. I think I might have got one in a job lot.
Was one Failcast?
Yeah, yes. More than likely.
I remember one of my friends getting a Red Terror and having to explain to him how drilling and pinning works.
Oh, right, yeah.
I'm really sad that they got. I'm sad they got binned out of the Codex. I was really hoping they would have survived into like the more recent editions, but they didn't.
I got the but when they first came out, the first, and this would have been like 3rd edition before I started working for the company. The first, oh god, the name's gone out. Ravener, first metal Ravener.
Ah,
Like,
nice.
Literally the first
one of my
people in the
favourite
country
units.
to buy one. Queued up at Games Workshop and bought just one blister because that's all I could afford.
Did you say you pewed up at Games Workshop? Pew pew.
Queued
And they
up,
were
yeah,
like,
exactly. No, queued up.
Put
Queued up.
him at the front of the queue.
Back when it was.
I was so glad.
back
I was
when
so glad they got a kill team recently. I proper like that Ravener kill team.
had actual games day. So
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, yeah, gargoyles were great. I decided to have 10. Of course, I did. I entered 6 into
Yeah,
Golden Demon. It did not place anywhere. Never mind.
10 gargoyles and no friends.
Yeah, more or less.
Which is a theme with you, I think, Alan. Ah, yes, I have 12 wraiths. Oh, yeah, now you have even less friends.
But a
This
vast...
is mathematically perfect. It's socially unacceptable.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I make up for it with other games. It's absolutely fine. Like Helldivers, for example.
Actually, Peter and Mike are in Helldivers right now.
Yeah, we'll soon get a game in a little bit later. So yeah, Hormagaunts, no picture of the Hormagaunts because they didn't get sued by James Cameron, but I think it's coming later. But these guys were fast, very, very fast. They can move 18 inches and jump over things.
But they have to because they're stabby instead of shooty, so they had to make them fast.
Yeah, on you in seconds. And then Bivores, and Bivores were just brilliant because Spore Mines were just bonkers at see if we can find them all.
This was back when they still had just one type of spawn mine, wasn't it? Then
there was no acid or anything like that. It's just one type.
It got branched out to 3 and then dumbed back down to 1 again.
Yeah, so it would just explode, and then it would do these damages. So strength 5, it's pretty hefty. Damage 1, modifier -2 against non-Tyranids, but it was this 10 plus 2d3 plus d6. So you would normally average like around about 15. 16, something on a spore mine roll. They could do tanks quite nicely. And they could also do bikes really well, which is why I had one spore mine that destroyed a bike squadron, a predator, a tech marine, and took 2 wounds off Marnius Kolgar.
I'm not a tech marine. Outrageous. All he's trying to do is keep everything working.
The tech marine's in a very, very bad place. So it went off in the middle of all the bikes.
Kolgar, but heaven forbid an avatar shows up. It
went off in the middle of all the bikes, and then the bikes went off because you had to roll whether you hit the rider or the bikes, and obviously because it was a template, it did. So it went off and hit all the bikes, and then the bikes ended up like crashing into the predator, and it wrecked the tracks on the predator. So the predator did that thing where if the tracks got wrecked and you rolled a 6, it just flips over and explodes. It's not immobilized or anything. It just goes. And then I think the Tech Marine and Minus Cargo were caught in the blast. It's like best spore mine ever.
Yeah, one thing that is interesting about the Biovores in this edition is like, yeah, it's got a range of 100 inches, but it's only got 6 shots. But you can chuck them all whenever you like. Like,
what's that? Oh, the Biovore. Yeah, totally, exactly, yeah. But I mean, there is no point in having the Biovore if it doesn't have spore mines. You could also, if I remember correctly, you could buy spore mines on their own and just have them at the front of your army, and they just float off and do their own thing.
They did end up as a fast attack choice.
I don't know if I'd
but
say,
I'm not sure.
I don't know if I'd say they were fast attack.
Oh, there it is. They're on the next page. I
But
think they're
obviously
just the fast
back then
attack
you
ones
didn't
'cause
have.
they can deep-
Remember, you
'cause
didn't
they
have
can deep
fast
strike.
attack back then. You had
No.
squads, you had HQ, and you had heavy support.
Mm.
Uh,
Yeah, in the
and
future.
basically it was a 50, 25, 50, 25 rule percentage wise. But yeah, here's your G-Steers again. These were brilliant. Weapon skill 7, quite happily shred a tank.
Strep 6 as well.
Put 6 of these on a Predator, and there would not be a Predator anymore.
Yeah, strength 6, 4 attacks.
They've got like 4 attacks each. They would just absolutely shred it.
Skill 7.
Yeah.
And attacks 4 as well,
Yeah.
1 for each arm.
G-Steers were absolutely lethal.
They're
Absolutely
like,
lethal.
I want to hit you. I'm going to hit you.
Yeah. I mean, you can mow them down with a bolt gun or whatever. It's just hitting them in the first place.
Yeah, initiative 7. Jeez.
Yeah. Obviously, back then, initiative existed and meant something. And
It
then
was
you've got
too complicated.
G-Steer cult stuff
Never
as
went
well.
away if you play Heresy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Little Timmy's head's go. It's like that scene from Scanners where the heads explode.
Poor Timmy.
But yeah, a full Tyranid, and then your G-Steer cults. No limo, unfortunately. I don't think the limo is here.
No, that was a rogue trader
that was
type
a rogue
deal,
trader
wasn't it?
thing.
Yeah, it was. They sort of scratch built one, didn't they? Or was it out of a toy?
Do you know, I'm amazed that when they brought Genestealer Cults back, they didn't try and find some way of putting in some sort of civilian vehicle that
You think
vaguely
they would,
resembled a
wouldn't you?
limo.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they went for
They
this
just got a
mining
rock run
thing. And
instead.
oddly enough, looking at these, that is not a million
That would
miles
have
away
been-
from what we got.
That would have been the perfect time for Forge World to go, hey, who want to see a wacky model?
Yeah. Just make a massive stretch limo, you know. But yeah, and there's your, obviously very, very basic Genestealer cult force armor list, but there it is. And here is one of my favourite short stories of all times,
The squad.
where this squad of Catchins just gets taken out one at a time by a Lictor. It's like Predator. It's basically Predator.
It's very good. It's a very good 3 pages.
Oh yes, love it. It's like you got here. Where's Manvers? It's like you can just almost imagine finding later, be like, "Is that Manvers? I can't tell."
Yeah, where's Hawkins? Is that Hawkins? I can't tell.
Billy!
But yeah, it's basically this stalking Tyranid, and these were the stories that we bought into. These were the stories. This is before Black Library. There was no Black Library. Black Library came in after this.
There's even a dude called Schwartz. It's
Yep.
a blatant head nod.
Yeah. And these Catchins just get absolutely ruined, and the Lictor leaves one alive to go back and warn
Stress out everyone else.
the bunker. And you're like, oh wow, that was such a really cool story. You didn't realise that they're going to pick it up again later in the book. You're like, oh, no way. But yeah, Sergeant Mallion, the Spook, that's it. Spook is what they used to call Lictors. Snake, Haze, Sly. Yeah, we see what you're doing there.
Yeah, I didn't realise it worked for the CIA.
Yeah. And
On
then,
the next
then
page,
you cut the section.
You got the old school Space Hulk Genestealer artwork.
You do,
Very happy to
Love
see
it.
that again.
Love that.
That's,
visual.
Side of the box.
So the Terminator on top, that's second
Yeah.
edition Space Hulk.
That is
Yeah,
another Dave Gallagher piece, I think.
Love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
brilliant.
Look at him. Look, I'm not scared of any of these killy aliens. I don't even get to cover my head up.
Yeah, exactly.
I wanted to see how angry I am.
Yeah, luckily I've got a sword to parry with any claws that come near my head.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm so hoping that I don't have to make a Space Sulk Part 3 video, but it's really looking likely at this point, unfortunately.
You know you're gonna.
I know I'm going to have to, aren't I? Yeah. And then we got to the weird and wacky world of Tyranids. How many colours? Yes.
All of the colours.
All of the colours. To be fair, I love this kind of Space Hulky scheme that he did, the second scheme. That's how my Tyranids will more or less look, my second edition army, when I get it done. Because I have got a full metal Tyranid edition second army sitting
Well,
there.
that Hive Tyrant. Is that what you're looking at?
Yeah, on the Hive Tyrant page, yeah. On the Hive Tyrant page.
Oh yeah, the one at the bottom. He's fantastic.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, yeah. So yeah, doing it more or less like those colours rather than the... Because I did the Epic, my Epic army, I did it all in the second edition colours, like the top ones. And on that size model, it took forever. And it took even longer when I decided to line highlight everything because I'm an absolute psycho.
I find it quite interesting that for the Carnifexes, they changed their head color to like a really pale, like off-whitey pink, where originally it was blue with yellow markings.
That's right, with yellow markings on it, yeah.
They did on 2 out of 3 of them. If you look at the picture at where there's 3 Carnifexes there, one of them's a different color to the others.
It's got brown.
The blue one.
What you're saying is that it used to have literally a blue face, like literally blue.
You see it later on,
and then they have almost like a sergeant's markings on its head.
Yeah.
Is it in this codex?
Yeah, you'll see it later on. It's just sort of cameoed in a picture.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I think they just wanted extra models.
They've got these
in the.
Yeah.
These were slightly dodgy Tyranid warriors.
In plastic, though.
Yeah, I mean, they were plastic. Yeah, you could get 3 for 15 quid, I think it was.
Yeah, with their swords and their chicken drumstick in the middle.
And you had metal and plastic termagants. So you had plastic termagants, you could only have flesh borers. But the metal ones, you could have spike rifles and you could have strangle webs.
I was very happy to see both of those return in 10th edition plastic.
Very cool, even if it's just one, like, of each.
Yeah.
Better than nothing. Better than nothing. So yeah.
What I did like about those Tyranid warriors is that in their rib cage is all the organs and stuff that you can paint before you stick the rib cage on.
Yeah, because this was a separate piece. Yeah.
No, you don't really see that anymore.
No,
with models apart from aircraft with cockpits.
Yeah,
I think it's mostly the second arms and the head that lets them down.
Yeah, the shovel arms and the goof head.
Yeah. The head's not great. It's a bit goofy. Yeah.
that's the plastics of the time, though, isn't it?
That was it. Yeah, you just did not have the definition and the skill with the tooling. I always thought that the gargoyles looked like they were musicians.
They were metal, these ones, weren't they?
These were very metal, yeah.
Saying that, do you know what the gargoyles really remind me of? When you look at the face of them, they remind me of the space jockey from Alien.
Yes, yeah, I see that.
They really look like him.
Yeah, maybe that's a direct thingy because I mean the Hormigants here. So here's the metal termagants I was talking about.
Plastic gene stealers from Space Hulk.
Plastic gene stealers.
Which are probably some of the best plastics ever. They got a fucking good run.
I love these. So much detail on these edges and everything. You don't even get this in the new range. You know, these little holes and everything you could highlight and the ribs. Yeah, they were brilliant. They've not got any Hormigants in here. Survival, Lictor.
The termagants were the alternate weapon ones. Were they metal models?
Yeah.
Yes, they were. Yes.
Because their pose looks slightly different.
Yeah. So they did metal versions of the flesh borers as well, but the only plastics were flesh borers, and they didn't look as good. They're all they look like dogs, basically, 6-legged dogs.
Yeah, they're the ones in the bottom image, aren't they?
No, they're still metal. They're still metal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're still metal.
Oh wow! Look at those old biovores. Jeez.
Yep. I've got 2 of them.
What, these spindly things?
Yep.
Man, I've got 3 of the old ones. The ones that followed this.
Yeah, I've got 2 of those. I think 2
Spawn
zone
points, like,
probes. Oh, there you go. There's the blue one. You see him there? That's not the one I'm thinking of either, because that one hasn't got the. There's one I remember seeing. It's got like yellow markings on its head, Matt.
Yeah. It was. I think that was in the White Dwarf when I got mine.
But that was back in the days when you had like the Zotes and the Squigs of the Tyranids as well. So they weren't quite,
exactly.
Where they needed to be. But the Lictor, awesome model. Loved it. Very subtle, different posing there. This one's standing up that way. This one's standing like that. Both exactly the same bloody model though. So,
yeah, the new Lictor models are amazing.
They are really good. Yeah, really good. We waited a long time for those. And that was pretty much my Tyranid. I didn't have 4 Carnifexes because I wasn't a psycho. But that was more or less my Tyranid army back in the day. No Zoanthropes there, which is a bit weird.
Yeah, I'm just having a really quick gander through the White Dwarf Codex. Hunter Slayer squads, Tyranid battle squads, Pure Strain G Stealers, Zotes, G Stealer Patriarch, Magus, Hybrids, Brood Brothers. There's the Screamer Killer. Next to the Squig Swarms.
Yeah, exactly. As I say, Squigs used to be part of the Tyranid army. Yeah,
it's like dark blue with like a sort of like it almost looks like sort of wings on its forehead coming off the.
That's right. Yeah, it's like they're yellow, aren't they?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so
We might see that later.
it might show up. I'm not sure. And then you've got your mission cards, and I love the old second edition mission cards, and the Tyranids had a couple of extra ones basically on top of everything else because some of their stuff wouldn't apply to the normal ones. So Trap was a good one. That was one where you just had to basically get your Tyranids behind the enemy lines. It was basically behind enemy lines before.
Behind enemy lines.
Yeah, before behind enemy lines. And then we're going to get to one of my favourite bits of the Tyranid Codex, and that is the Tyranid events table.
Oh.
So you see, Tyranids only had a strategy of, I think it was 1 back in the day, and they didn't get strategy cards. So every RV army would get strategy cards that would be like minefields or whatever, and that kind of stuff. But it doesn't make much sense for a Tyranid to use a lot of that stuff. So what the Tyranids got instead was they got the Tyranid event table, and what you did was you rolled on every single thing in your opponent's army, and this is what happened to them. So if it's a squad, 1 to 3, no, it's fine. This squad's turned up, they've made it. If it's a 4, then basically psychology goes up a step. So all Tyranids that cause fear, and any that normally cause fear, cause terror. So yeah, I think it's just a little bit more scary because they've been sort of battle fatigued on the way. Jones is acting strangely. So if a squad got this, you roll the d6 at the start of every Tyranid turn, and on a roll of a 6, one of them randomly explodes with a barbed strangler, which means you take the template, put it over the squad, and roll for the rest of the squad to be affected. Which is just, it's very Thing-like, isn't it? The Thing, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, brilliant. And then they're all around us. They basically get put in reserves.
Yeah, and then you got What the Beep.
Yeah, and then basically they get put in reserves, and
random dudes from the squad could just vanish.
If you roll a 4 or more, then one of them just disappears. It could be the heavy weapon because it's randomly generated, and you didn't have massive squads back then. Characters was basically 1, you get hatred, which was good for them. 2 to 5, okay. 6 wounded, 1 less wound, nothing particularly amazing there. Dreadnoughts, 1 to 3, okay. 4 low on fuel. So basically, if it moves or runs, you roll d6 and add if it's running, and if the results are 6 or more, the dreadnoughts are mobilised.
Yeah, just randomly done.
It runs out of power. They're all around us is just the same as the squad one, so it just gets deployed as a reserves. And corrosion damage, you have to roll on the location chart and then roll a d3. So you wouldn't normally destroy it, but you damage the vehicle. And then vehicles were the same. So 4 was brilliant though, because on 4 there's a little Tyranid creature on board the vehicle. And every time the vehicle
like
rolls,
a gremlin,
you have to roll the dice to see if the Tyranid little creature wakes up and attacks somebody on the crew. Brilliant. Just these cool little narrative ideas that just added to the feel of the army. Do you know what I mean? Again, they're all around us. You know, your tank doesn't turn up turn 1. Look forward to getting it on turn 2. And then again, corrosion damage. And corrosion damage can do some majorly sort of damage to the tank, but it wouldn't destroy it. You wouldn't be able to destroy it with corrosion damage. You're not losing a unit. You're not sort of being punished that much. But you just have these really cool little random events that happen. I'd love to see these come back in Warhammer.
Be random.
Bin rerolls, and give us back random event tables. Basically,
they won't. I mean, even Demons lost their Warp Storm table. So
I love the Warp Storm table.
Exactly, it was so good, back in the day. We have a good look at this. I want to say Dave Gallagher. I think it's Dave Gallagher.
I just noticed why is the warrior got like a tummy beak?
Why not?
A little jumper.
Yeah, it's almost Zinchian, isn't it? Almost like the horrors.
An octopus beak.
Yeah, like a squid. Yeah. Yeah, I like them more painted with the carapace being painted a different colour.
What the fuck is that behind it?
Which one?
This is a Homogaunt.
The one to the left. I'm looking at it and I'm like, what the?
That's a gene stealer.
Are you sure?
You got a gene stealer and a Homogaunt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gargoyles in
Oh,
the
it's
background as well.
it might be a lictor. The blue thing with the red arm and the pale head.
No, that's a Hormigant.
Yeah,
Still
it's definitely a Homogorn.
fucking big, ain't it?
I think the perspective is a bit
Bit of
off.
perspective. I think it's closer to the Tyranid Warrior than you think. It's closer to the Tyranid Warrior than you think it is. And then behind it, you've got the again the Exocrine and the Haruspex, with gargoyles flapping about.
Somewhat scaled up to what we're used to.
Just a little bit, but then I mean they were transports. They're meant to, they were meant to transport Tyranids. So yeah.
Yeah, and they never really got another one apart from like the
Epic.
Spore and and then these days it's the Hierophant.
Yes.
You can get like a transport chamber for it.
Yeah. So here's the second part of that story. I won't spoil it. It does not end well for the Imperials.
Never should in a Xenos Codex.
Well, no, that's exactly it. Yeah.
I won't spoil it. Immediately spoils it.
It's Warhammer 40,000. Nothing ends well for the Imperials. Well, back in second edition anyway. And then you've got the bone sword, and the lash rip, and as you can see, they're quite different from what they are now. More like weapons, but these were always one of my favourite sections of the Codex, just like the War Gear book, but obviously the War Gear didn't have this in it. Just so good.
Strangleweb's cool.
Spinefish, Strangleweb, yeah, I love the Strangleweb. Have a unit of those termagants with those, and they would upset people quite a lot. Despoters, flame spurts, because gargoyles used to have flame spurts. They didn't used to have flesh borers, but then you got the flesh borer. And I just love the way it just tells you all about them. It's just a bunch of beetles lay their eggs and they get fired at people and then eat their way into the armor and stuff like that,
And the person underneath.
Like the Devourer.
Unfortunately,
The Devourer, I think, fired maggots.
It did, yeah. Chompy maggots.
Here it is, yeah. So it's flesh worms. Awesome. Sustained fire 2d6. Yeah, spike rifles, monomolecular. I'm sure it says monomolecular here somewhere. Yeah, the hooks are formed of carbon-based chitin with a monomolecular edge. They used to allow lictors to climb walls, and then the barbed strangler, God,
which is blatantly not a stick with two face huggers on it.
Not at all. No, I don't know what you're talking about. Nothing aliens looking like that about at all. It's not even as if it's got
not remotely.
It's not even like it's got Gygerus ribbings or anything. Oh shit!
Homage. It's a homage.
Yeah, exactly. But I love the Barb Strangler. It's just great, so good.
It's always been good fun.
Yeah, so very very cool. I just love these detailed black and white drawings. They were just
What did you
really
do?
Cool.
I think these were Des Hanley, because he also did some of the drawings back further up. Basically, if it's black and white and it's not Mark Gibbons, it's normally Des Hanley.
Okay.
You'll tell Wayne England, because Wayne England's always looked like this.
Yeah.
Venom cannon,
highly stylized
with the Thud gun template. Who remembers the Thud gun template?
Yeah, I've still got my metal thud gun. I had a thud gun template put together with split pins.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly.
Yeah, so did I.
Split pins to put it together. So
it's great fun.
What you do is you just, for the uninitiated, you get a little 1-inch template and you put it down, and then you roll a D12, I guess.
No, I think they were 3-inch templates.
No, they weren't.
Like,
they were little templates, dude.
They weren't that small.
No, I think they were a couple of inches across, but they weren't.
Okay,
they weren't.
The split difference.
Like,
I'm talking about 1 inch. I'm talking about 1 inch radius, not diameter.
Oh, fair enough. Carry on.
Yeah, right. Okay. And then you'd roll to see where the next one would go, and then it'd be almost like a clock. So imagine clock facing.
Yeah.
You'd
Yeah,
roll,
with D12.
The next one would go there, and then the next one would go there, and there'd be 4 blasts in total. I want to say, guys.
Yep. Yeah, it's 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thud gun had 4 barrels.
So and this would use that basically.
They got simplified down into a Thunderfire cannon. Unfortunately,
just read it here. It's right here. So roll D12.
That would have been too easy.
I know, right?
It would.
Words. Duh. Bioplasma. Yeah, pretty nasty. And then because basically even the Imperium learns things. You had to shoot the the big one kind of thing. So if it was a monstrous creature, you could shoot that instead of everything else, because they're basically chosen to shoot something bigger.
Target priority. Back when it was a thing.
Interestingly,
Yeah,
a lot of these weapons just get scaled up for Battlefleet Gothic.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And then there'd be like, so are we going to shoot these termagants that are not much of a threat here, or are we going to shoot this huge great thing here that we might be able to kill that is definitely a threat? But yeah, all your rules and stuff, and just loads of stuff like all poisons. Tyranids they didn't care. They're from another galaxy. No. Poison didn't work. They're absolutely fine. But there's loads of different bits and pieces, because back then you had loads of things like photon flashes and stuff like that, and you need to work out is your army going to be susceptible to these?
Yeah, blind grenades actually did stuff.
Yeah.
Auto senses, not if you ain't bought them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And then obviously your points, because the points were quite simple back then. Basically, you got points for what you destroyed plus your army mission. I'm really not much of a fan of how 40k is pointed these days.
Not so much.
And then basically it's your missions, and then eventually we get to the so that's just the army. Here we go, the army list. So you could give your bigger nids all sorts of cool stuff. Your troops like termagants and that you couldn't do anything with, which is what I liked when they changed it in the 3rd and 4th editions.
Yeah,
that you could give them that stuff. But your big boys, you could give all this war gear, because again, I don't think they had war gear cards. No war gear cards. So instead, you'd have these, and I mean, some of these were just, you put it on there and you just be like, what? No, that's just horrible, absolutely horrible. But you'd pay for it, and that's what I never minded. I was like, look, you could have less models, more awesome stuff, or more models, but you're not going to be able to give them so much stuff, and I don't understand why that was so complicated.
Yeah,
it's interesting how they thought of so many unique ideas that have never been done anywhere else, like acid blood and.
Yep, exactly. Exactly, completely new concept at that time, just like Jennifer Lawrence to the world of female action stars.
It's amazing to know that she was the
Jennifer
first.
Lawrence turns up. Amazing. I'm kind of surprised. I guess the Horngood's must have come out after this codex, but
I think Bridget Nielsen going to kill somebody.
There are some abilities that never quite made it further though, like voltage field.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, that's just basically their equivalent of like one of the fields that you got for the Imperials. It's like a conversion field, I think.
Yeah.
But toughened exoskeleton went all the way through many hardened carapace, many
venom sacs.
Yeah, exactly.
Regenerate basically gave it will not die.
Yep. And it didn't go silly, it didn't go mad. It had just enough.
For 10 points, that's actually pretty bloody good. Regenerate.
Yep. Yeah, it's very good. Yeah, very good. Warp field was always amazing.
I just noticed on the Hive Tyrant entry under weapons, claws, jaws, and a bad attitude.
What more would you need?
You never really say anyone. You never really hear anyone say bad attitude these days. It's very much an early 90s, late 80s saying.
Sonic the Hedgehog with attitude.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. I always love that old spine fist as well. That looks so cool.
Yeah. It's basically a knuckle duster filled with teeth.
Yeah. Look and shoot.
And then you had your psychic powers, which were brilliant.
Yeah, and then Halo pinched it and used it in like a needler.
Needler, that's right. Yeah, the purple crystals. Yeah. Just awesome, man. As I say, look at that piece of artwork. It's just so cool.
There's a certain level of goofiness to these Tyranids as well that's kind of got a charm to it.
Yeah. There's like that 90s, 80s kind of horror monster kind of thing. But I was just looking at this, and even like even the walls of the Tyranid ship are very sort of Giga inspired, aren't they? If you look at it.
Yeah.
Well,
But
it's
it's in
basically
a
you look at the black and white art in this book, and it's like really taken seriously. It's dialed up. It really looks horrible. Like it's meant to look grim and dark. And then you look at the models, and you've got like buck teeth, brightly coloured.
Yeah, I don't know how they felt about, when they got the Tyranid range out. Let's just go back up there real quick and have a quick look. I mean, they did their best. I mean, I don't think they're terrible models, but
No, some of them really hit the mark quite well.
we've got better now, definitely. I think the assignments were done fairly well. Just these guys maybe didn't do. Tyranid warriors maybe didn't do quite as well as they should have.
I mean,
But then we got
I know
metal
they've had
ones later, and
refinements
they were
to-
much better.
But the current Gene Stealers have had refinements to their armored plates and stuff, but really
Yeah.
the design hasn't needed to be messed with. They look pretty
No.
solid. They always have.
Well, this is it. If it's not broken, why fix it?
yeah. I must
The
say,
Lictor looks way better, I think, the newer one.
as an old school Space Hulk player, where I'd taken a massive break from like third until the start of 5th edition. The first time I saw Mike's Gene Stealers with Scything Talons, I was like, "What the fuck is this? They look weird. Why do they have like these little cleavers instead of like
I never liked them having Siphon Talons. I'll be honest.
Nah, they look fucking silly.
Yeah, never liked them having Siphon
I mean,
Talons.
I think the modern ones look good because they've done proper like stabby Scything Talons like what the Hawkons have, rather than just little weird sideways cleavers.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, they were just like they weren't particularly pointy or anything at all, were they? They were
No.
just almost like axes more than anything else.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm just looking at these Tyranid biomorphs here, and I'm like, you motherfuckers better enjoy these because by the time 5th edition rolls around with Robin Credits, they're all in the bin.
They're all in the bin. Yeah.
All in the bin. And you won't see him again
Yeah,
until like 8th, I think, which was actually a damn good codex.
Yes, yeah.
Tyranids proper got dicked over for a long time.
Yeah, I think it was mostly Andy Chambers because he was like, I always called him the Nid Father because he kind of sat down with Jervis Johnson and invented them from the ground up.
Yeah.
And then when he left after 4th edition, they were just like, he'll do it, give it to him. and
Robin Credits is now head of the Warhammer 40,000 design team.
Which explains everything.
I didn't want to say it, but
I mean, no offense, Robin, but like you've basically done to the whole game what you did to Tyranids in 5th edition. It's not entirely forgivable.
It seems like he's having a bit of a Matt Ward hold my beer moment.
Yeah.
Yes, in many ways.
And he did quite enough.
And as I say, I don't really hold any hope it'll be better. So there's your Hormigant. Another Mark Gibbons piece. Boing, 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 dead, basically. And yeah, it doesn't really show so much here, but the actual metal models were very xenomorph looking. Or xenomorph. But yeah, 28 points, a Gene Stealer.
Worth every point.
Fucking killy though.
They were worth that.
On a slightly out of world point of view, though, how irritating was it that you could spend a lot of money getting all these metal Terminators really well painted up, and some dickhead rocks up with some plastics like Gene Stealers and annihilates them?
Just wrecked.
I'm guessing it's really annoying. Yeah, I mean, provided you could keep your Gene Stealers hidden. The thing about Gene Stealers is if they got caught by a squad shooting at them, they're wrecked. They've only got a 5+.
Yeah, they've only got 5 ups.
They've only got 1 wound, and they've only got toughness 4. So they are getting deleted. But if you could keep them in cover and be all sneaky, stealthy, hidey.
Did they? They didn't have any type of infiltrate here, did they?
No, there was no infiltrate. No.
No, because that's what gave them the edge later on.
Basically, just kind of scuttle them forward and just go from cover to cover to cover. Which was
Mind you saying that, 28 points a model, right? So 10 of them is 280 points. When you look at a tactical squad, was like 340 points.
It was, yep.
You could reliably run a whole. You could purple tide them at someone.
Yeah, I mean, I used to have 10 Gene Stealers in my army, if I remember correctly, because I had loads of other stuff as well. I mean, Hormigants were really good for getting up in people's faces. Really good.
Yeah, you just need to put them in front of the Gene Stealers.
Yeah, just have a shield, because they move so fast. And I'd have the gargoyles, and the gargoyles would be up top, and then I'd just drop those down, and they'd be in people's faces, and they'd be dealing with those, and I'd get all the other stuff to go in after them. A little bit like sending 12 wraiths on a turn one
don't even
charge.
stop it immediately.
Well, to be fair, I don't think I could do it with 12 because I think the maximum size was 6. But yeah, lots of wraiths.
Probably because as soon as you got 12 out of the box, everyone just went fuck off.
So yeah, support you could I think it was up to 25%. No, 50%. So it was 50% up to 50% on characters, up to 50% on support, and a minimum of 25% on troops or squads. But yeah, you could just buy spore mines and then just put them at the front and just leave them to do their own thing.
Yeah, they ended up in fast attack because they could deep strike eventually.
Ah, okay. Yeah. Well, the thing is, if you could deep strike them, then why would you have a Biovore?
To shoot them at people.
But then you could just deep strike them.
Well, yeah, but that's a whole unit.
Yeah,
like you deep strike in a unit and then it's done. Whereas with a Biovore, it's like, now I can drip feed you spore mines every turn.
I remember I did.
Yeah, plus you could target different stuff each turn.
Yeah, I did have a lot of Biovores. I had 3 Biovores in my army. 100-inch range.
I've got 2 and a Pyrovore before I got the plastic ones.
Oh right! Oh man, I love them. I'll tell you what, that is one of the best updates that Games Workshop have ever done. Is the new Biovores.
Yep.
Absolutely
100%.
Perfection. They're so good.
I'm going to point out, I don't know what the fuck they were thinking when they put them into Space Marine 2 and they suddenly became a hyper scuttling speedy menace. I'm like, look, mate.
Look at the model and you're like, okay, I get what he does. It sort of scuttles into position.
And then suddenly it's like across the screen in a blur, and you're like, was that a fucking Biovore? I'm like, if it was a Pyrovore, I would understand, because they're going to scuttle really fast and get into someone's face and then hose them with horrible napalmy fire. But like a Biovore, I'm like, what are you doing?
You wouldn't think they were that fast. That was very much a surprise when
they are not that fast. Not in no codex are they that fast at all.
And then you could have your G.C. the Cult army alongside, and just hope they didn't get eaten too much, because allies was a thing. Magus. I mean, I love the fact they brought back G.C. the Cults. I really do, and I really like most of the G.C. the Cult models. I have very few problems with most of them. I like my G.C. the Cult army. Maybe I'll do a video about it at some point.
The only thing I don't like about the current G.C. the Cult army model range is that the Patriarch doesn't have his talisman.
Yeah, he's just very much a big gene stealer, isn't he? He's not. Yeah. I mean, it's not even the same kind of, because he was a big fat bastard back in the day, sat on a throne.
Yeah, there was 2. There was a bethroned one, and then there was a running one. Yeah. I had the running one. I didn't have the throne, but weirdly, I had his Magus advisor that had his hand out, and it went on the arm of the throne. But I never had the throne. I don't even know where that Magus came from. Again, I think it was part of a job lot.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I'm not too familiar with the Gene Stealer Cult stuff. What is the Magus's role in the army compared to what the Patriarch's obviously in charge?
Yep. The Magus is basically like a lieutenant and an orator, so he's the one that speaks to the cultists and gives the Patriarchs, because the Patriarch doesn't speak. So he's basically a bit of a Grimmer Wormtongue type guy. Yeah, kind of, and a psyker at the same time. So he's got familiars. He's like the right hand man, henchman, kind of boss henchman. I'm with you. In the army,
basically a wizard captain.
Back when Gene Stealer Cult army was literally just that, it was Patriarch, Magus, and Cult Icon Bearer. Before before Games Workshop realised that they could get 20 quid out of players for each character that they put in the army, and then there's something like all the characters. I think there's like 10 or something stupid like that now.
We have all of them.
Ridiculous.
So many elites.
Yeah. But yeah, back then, nice and simple. Brood Brothers of Humans have been planted by Gene Stealers, and back then in the Gene Stealer lore, as it were, it was a little bit more unpalatable than it would be these days. The ladies were strictly breeders. Wouldn't fly so much these days.
Not so much.
But yeah, the ladies were strictly sort of designed to just produce more cultists, basically, more hybrids. But yeah, I mean, for a very basic army, is there a couple of choices? Tarantulas, FUD guns we were talking about.
Yeah, the old school mole mortars.
Jesus.
It's basically
Which
a way of getting things like las cannons into a Tyranid army.
More or less.
Rapier.
You know, I mean, the Tyranids were always the combat army, not the shooting army. Even the Hive Tyrant wasn't a great shot, if I remember correctly. You know, but they wanted them to have some shooting. But, you know, a lot of Tyranids don't. Hormigants, no shooting weapons. Genesters, no shooting weapons. Ripper Swarms, no shooting weapons. You know, they were always the combat. But the thing about Tyranids, it was always an army there. If they did get caught and shot, they were dead. It's not that they were a glass cannon, it's just you had to be careful with them. But if you could keep them in cover and go round terrain and all that kind of stuff, you could absolutely ruin people.
Yeah, you needed to make sure you had a decent table to play on. Not like Planet Bowling Ball.
Yeah, if you play on a flat table, that's it. Your Tyranid army's dead. It hasn't got a chance. Hasn't got a chance. But if you had the appropriate terrain, then you can have a lot of fun with a Tyranid army. A lot of fun. I love it. All cult vehicles must be painted in the appropriate cult colours and markings to show their new allegiance.
In other words, don't bring your Imperial Guard stuff.
Must be painted, yeah. Don't just bring your Imperial Guard stuff.
One thing that I did notice was about Rippers when I was reading the rules forum earlier on, is that like they eat everything as they move.
Yep.
So they literally take terrain off the table as they move.
Yeah, it's like it's basically like a walking eating carpet.
Yeah, I'm sorry you put down the area terrain of 3 trees. You've now got to try and remove a tree and a half.
Imperial Guard land speeder. Look at that. I'd forgotten the Imperial Guard can have land speeders. That's just taking me back to that Games Day entry. Do you remember the Games Day entry with the Imperial Guard land speeder? Here's a catching one. I'll see if I can find a picture of it. Games Day.
Vehicles, permitted vehicles, Land Raider, Rhino, Predator. I have some notes.
To be fair, the Imperial Guard could use those. The Imperial Guard could use those tanks back then as well. So, because this was this codex was before the Imperial Guard codex, so the Imperial Guard would have still been using whatever they were given with White Dwarf.
You get what you're given and learn to like it.
Yeah, back then you were. It's like, yeah, this is your army for the edition. I hope you like it. Oh no, not Games Day. What am I talking Games Day for? Jesus.
Basic weapons: auto gun, bolt gun, crossbow.
Covering all of the bases.
Interestingly, you could take a bow, as in like bow and arrow, for 0.5 points.
Yep. Half points were a thing. Absolutely
I'm sorry.
A thing.
If weapon options were a thing.
Oh man. Try catching. Oh man, there was like, it was like I'm not imagining it. There was a Games Day entry. I can't remember who it was by now. Of a catch and land speeder assaulting like a orc outpost or something. But Google is letting me down big time. Google's making me think that I am going absolutely mental. Maybe it's just too old. Maybe it's back in the mists of time.
Maybe.
90s. I'll give it one more go and then I'll give up. No, Google's gone. You're completely mental. You don't know what you're talking about.
Fail.
Annoyingly. If I find it, I'll stick it in the video, but yeah, I can't remember. It was like it was way back in the day, like 97, 98 or something. But it was really cool. Yeah, there's a couple of catchings and a land speeder, the old metal one, you know, attacking a orc outpost. I'm pretty sure it was like with scratch.
I remember that.
Orc. Yeah, exactly. Like a little lake. I think we're pre-Paul Resing days, those, yeah, but yeah, it was still good. And then yeah, all your war gear. So, you know, it's all there. It was all very simple. People went, "Oh God, it was so complicated." No, it wasn't. It wasn't bloody complicated.
It really wasn't complicated.
I think it's more when you're coming into the game, especially if you're younger and you're looking at things like Space Marines. because Space Marines, Chaos Space Marines, and a lot of those, they have very, very similar concepts. If you're coming into when you're coming to it with something like Tyranids, they're approaching the game in a very different way. Like Wargate cards are different.
Yeah.
How they do things is different. You've got synapse sort of monsters and
Yep. And loads of things called terror and stuff like that, which Space Marine armies
yeah, getting your head around it is a bit much for a 10-year-old, but
Yeah, I mean, some armies weren't for beginners.
no,
Marines generally
absolutely.
are.
The thing is, I wouldn't advocate changing that, to be honest, because look at 10th edition.
Yeah, but I'd rather not.
Yeah, Crayon Hammer. No, I mean, yeah, I got on fine with Tyranids when I did finally get the Codex and realise that we got the stats all wrong. I got on fine with Tyranids. Yeah, I mean,
It's probably a combination of young age and when you're talking pocket money days, like buying a Space Marine Sergeant was your pocket money. That was it.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Like trying to get into something like the Tyranids, where, let's be honest, a Carnifex was a fair chunk of change.
Yeah,
for a
even
kid.
back then, I think it was about 20 quid.
They're a relatively metal heavy army, so
yes.
for
No,
a kid to get into, they were not an accessible army whatsoever.
I had to build my Gargoyle army up over time. My Gargoyle army, my Gargoyle squad up over time. It was literally like, I'd go in and buy a blister, and then another time buy another blister.
Yeah, I mean, for a Space Marine army, for example, like if you're going to buy your big metal model, let's be honest, it's a Dreadnought. Whereas with the Tyranids, you've got the Lictor, the Hive Tyrant, the Carnifex, it's the Zoanthrope. Like they're all like massive metal models.
And also, many of them needed pinning.
Yeah, I mean they're
I can tell
the Lictor's
oh, look, there's the Hormigans.
I was about to say, yeah, page 83. There's your Xenomorph.
There's the Hormigans with the very
very
xenomorph looking heads. I remember a time that I went. This would be when I worked for the company, and I went to Lenton and did a lead pick and got 20 Hormigans, and I picked up 20 Hormigans. I was like, awesome. And I picked up 20 Hormigant left arms, yay! And 20 Hormigant right arms, yay! And then when I got home, I realised I'd forgotten 20 Hormigant rear claws, and I was sad.
Oh shit!
Yeah, back in the day. I was like, no Carnifex. There it is. Yeah. So because the body came in two halves, and this is like completely flat.
Yeah, it's top and the bottom half, wasn't it?
Oh my god, the gap you would get when you put these two things together.
And even then, if you're part of the professional team putting these models together, there's still no guarantee you'll actually manage to put its centre on the base.
No.
No, because it had pegs in the feet, didn't it? And base, when you turned it over, there was little holes that you had to drill out one for the foot.
And the holes aren't always in like a symmetrical place, if you know what I mean. Yeah. She'd have like a hole here, and then you had two holes there and a hole there, so you could get different.
Yeah, but let's be real. You still could totally drill a hole and put him centre on the base.
Lack of effort, even then, eh? But yeah, this. I mean, yeah, horrible. Those two halves of that body. Jesus.
Yeah, he may have been one of the early, selling points for green stuff.
To be fair, I got mine centre on there without too much trouble. I was looking at it now.
I haven't built any of mine. I need to build on my Tyranid 2nd edition army. I'd love
the way it's sort of shaped as well. You could actually pivot it on its hip axis a little bit, so it could be a little bit more dynamic if you have more than one.
Yeah, you could do like leaning backwards a little bit, like rearing up.
Can't get a lot of movement
or put something
out
on the
legs.
Reposition the leg.
Because the legs are flat and metal.
Yeah, I suppose you could put like an incline under one foot
That's
and then have it.
That's probably what you'd need to do, yeah. But then the Hive Tyrant, that one always needed pinning here. I would pin it at the waist because that waist isn't very thick, and then you've got like a little bit on here, and there's no dip or anything that you put that into. That's just almost flat, which is a bit of a pain in the arse.
I always thought the Lictor was like a test to see how much you really wanted to get into this hobby.
The Lictor wasn't too bad. The worst thing about the Lictor was you nearly always lost the spinal fin. Yeah,
transporting the bloody thing, like the scything arms.
I mean, again, back then it wasn't too much of a problem, but nobody thought about magnetising anything back then.
Oh, geez, no.
At all.
Wouldn't even know where to get a magnets from.
Yeah, exactly. Weirdly enough, the biggest problem with this model, with transporting it, would be that the flesh hooks would snap off.
Yeah, I can
Because
see
they're
that.
quite thin, and when it was pewter, it would bend, and then it'd bend, and eventually it'd be like, nah, gone.
Yeah.
I suppose the cool thing about a lot of these models,
Like
things
these, so you see here where the toe, that is asking to snap off of that metal tab,
yeah.
and did.
But the good thing
often.
about a lot of these being metal as well was you could actually like bend the tails and stuff to put them in slightly different poses, so they didn't all feel the same.
I guess so. I definitely couldn't say I did, but yes, you could.
Definitely on the termagants and things.
I think I might have. I remember doing a cut on the Hive Tyrant's arm because I didn't like the way he held the sword, but I couldn't tell you much more than that. But yeah, I mean, Michael Perry still sculpting to this day.
Nice.
Michael Perry and Alan Perry, did they do? Oh, and Jez did the Screamer Killer. Back in the days, you used to get credits for sculpting stuff. It's cool.
Yeah. I think they still do now, but it's highly variable as to whether they actually do like
It's
an
weird.
icon on Red Dwarf on.
Yeah,
Red
sometimes
Dwarf?
they'll mention it, but they don't do credits like on the boxes and stuff. It's always the Citadel design team.
Yeah.
But sometimes they will mention it in an article or something like that. But yeah, I loved. I mean, just look at that. Just look at that. You don't get that in 10th edition. We're looking at the inside back cover here, boys.
All the colours.
All the colours. Look at it. Red and purple death coming your way. And the mad thing is,
I like the Imperial Guard guy who's got his fist up, looking like really really brave in front of a Carnifex.
Yes, if he's smart, he's got a grenade in that hand, and he's going to just basically jump at the Carnifex with the grenade.
Yes, let's charge the alien horde with horses.
But the weird thing is, you look at this army, you're like, oh man, it's so cool, and then you realise like Primaris Marine is probably like not far off the size of that bloody Screamer Killer, and it makes you a bit sad.
Hold on a moment.
Yeah, but he's not cool.
No, he's not. No, Screamer Killers are cool.
A Primaris Marine comes up to the top of the Screamer Killer's lowest arm set.
Yeah,
so it's still a good almost an inch taller.
Okay.
He's about twice the height of that Imperial Guardsman.
Yeah.
I found my Screamer Killer.
I was saying before the stream, I was in Games Workshop Romford like when I was quite young, and I remember watching someone playing a game.
And it chucked one.
Yeah, threw a paddy and launched it. Just launched it across the room, and it sort of hit the wall and knocked down a load of blister packs.
Get out of my shop.
Yeah, and to be fair, Romford is very, very small. It's not hard to throw something from Romford to the other. I think the room I'm in at the moment is probably about the same size as Romford. Literally a cupboard, tiny little place.
I spent many weekends in that cupboard painting Space Marines.
Yeah, I used to love going again. I go into Games Workshop these days, and it's just tragic. It really is. It really is just absolutely tragic. There's nobody having fun. There's nobody like playing games. The staff member comes over, shambles over. Hopefully, hoping that you're just gonna buy something and not make them do anything.
I always like going in there when they bounce over to you and they give you the the usual spiel, and they're like, "Oh, what brings you today, buddy? What are you currently working on?" And I say Horus Heresy, and you can just see the light in their eyes die.
Yeah.
Horus Heresy has become code for "I know more than you."
Yeah, I mean they don't play games in there anymore. I think they might still do some beginner stuff, but it's very much an on-roading thing. As I said in my video, I'd shut down nearly all the stores. I really would. I wouldn't.
Yeah, I went into the Norwich store recently, and they were like, "Oh, we're doing armies on parade at the moment," and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." I only went in to get a couple of paints, and the guy went, "Oh, would you be interested?" And I just said, "I 3D print," and he basically ended the conversation with me.
After out of the shop.
Well, didn't an alarm go off or something?
I 3D print shit for them.
Yeah. So you slapped my mum. Get out of the shop.
How dare you? Went full Greta on me.
I am thinking about buying the well, it won't be this weekend, but when I get paid, I'm thinking about buying the Marauder army box for Old World.
Oh, the Chaos lot.
Yeah, those look really, really, really nice. So I am thinking about picking those up, just because I mean, it's quite rare that GW puts out models that I really, really like look of these days that really catch me. You know, so I think they deserve to be rewarded for that kind of thing. But yeah, that was a little.
You're right, Kevin. They definitely do look Napoleonic.
Yes, yeah, they did. It's a very good way of putting it. Yeah, yeah. It almost just does look like toys in a picture now these days. There is something very, very different, and I've not been able to nail it. I've really not.
I think it's partially all the mad colours.
Yeah, I think that might be part of it. It's very kind of like regimental standard colours and all kind of stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know. There was just something about this style that is just so enduring that I don't know that it's ever really going to be anything apart from iconic. You know, you've got the kind of the 5th to 6th edition, like peak Grimdark. This is not peak Grimdark. Let's get something quite clear. This is not peak Grimdark. This is still 2000 AD, heavy metal, punk, you know. But when you go forward and you go like through to like maybe 5th, 6th edition, you are hitting peak Grimdark. Probably 7th, I would say, you know, 6th, between 6th and 7th, peak Grimdark. This isn't that. This is something else. But there's something about this. I just know if it's childhood memories or whatever. I just love it. You know, I love all these stupid bright colours and the goblin green bases and all the models looking the way they do. And you'd have this cheap, you know, scenery that you've made. And I used to make like ruins out of the plastic trays. So you'd get the plastic tray that the model came in, split it in half diagonally, and then put the two halves together, and you get like a ruin, and the borders of the trays, or like the little boxes for the trays, would make floors.
Yep. And
basically, you just wreck it up a little bit of a cocktail stick, and then put a bit of poly cement on it outside, boys and girls, to give it kind of a melted look, and you know, make your own scenery that in those days. And there was just something about that. Of that back then, it just didn't feel the same, and I guess that's part of the whole grognard mindset, really. Just, you know, the memories that we had, the fun that we had, and getting as much as we can of that out of current day, which is, you know, is difficult.
Yeah.
And Games Workshop makes it difficult, unfortunately, but Games Workshop is also there to make money, and they seem to be doing it, so I guess they know what they're doing from that perspective. But yeah, getting a look at the second edition stuff again does make me somewhat wistful. It's like, oh, I remember those days. Games Workshop was simpler. I was simpler. Yeah, it's not all Caden. Also, it looks like an army of a galaxy of different planets. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you've got Catchins there. You've got Talons there, which we don't have anymore. No Mordians. They won't even dare mention the Praetorians, for fear of being
still have a couple of those
colonizers. Yeah, it was just different, you know. It is what it is. You get what you like. Oh, there's some Mordians in this one, actually. They're in the ruins. Couldn't see those at first. But even those cactuses over on the left-hand side are literally just polystyrene balls with cocktail sticks rammed into them.
That's right.
You know, it's just great.
No second edition Battlefield would be complete without them.
Precisely. You know, everything's scratch built rather than sold. You know, even those ruins are probably made out of some kind of plastic card or foam card or something. Almost guarantee it. And yeah, we've got technology these days to allow us to do these things. You know, you can just 3D print some ruins if I want to 3D print some ruins. You know, you can do that. But yeah, something got lost along the line on the way. I don't know. Maybe we changed. It's quite possible.
Far more grumpy.
Far more grumpy, absolutely. Far more grumpy and less patient. But that was the second edition Tyranid Codex, guys. Awesome. I love it. It was so simple back then. You know, you didn't have 4 million different bloody troops choices and variations of things.
It's also not designed to be an ultra competitive game.
It was not at all. I mean, people played games and everything, obviously competitively, but I mean, that kind of thing really came to the forefront when Games Workshop broke America.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I've got the Making Citadel Terrain book. Great book. It's got the Star Wars ship the Rebel transport that they turned into a thing as well. That was awesome. I think that when America became a big part of GWs, that's when the shift to competitive went, because we didn't really care over here in Britain. We were quite happy with our plastic toys and our metal toys and playing them. We didn't, there was that competitive mindset just wasn't really there. But when you get to America, it does suddenly become super competitive, and people really want to win their games and tournaments and that kind of stuff. And that's where the game changed, I think. Which lessened it in some ways, but made it a lot better in other ways, because without that injection of money, we probably wouldn't have the money, we wouldn't have the models that we have these days. Plastic technology is very expensive to invest in, to get these high fidelity, wonderful plastic models. Maybe they needed that new, expansion into America, but it certainly changed the games in ways that I'm not entirely sure for the better. Although people may well disagree with me. And the cool thing is we can still play second edition. There's nothing stopping me. Got the codex, got the books, nothing stopping you playing from second edition. The only thing is most of the range that's out now doesn't fit in it, but you wouldn't want it to. So
I still have a sizable Necron army for second edition.
Mm-hmm. They were right at, they were like White Dwarf
297, I think, something like that.
No, way earlier than that.
I've got
220 or something. I want to say.
I've got the White Dwarfs that had the.
There was
it was
a
over 2
warrior.
White Dwarfs, wasn't it?
There was a Chaos Warrior on horse on the front.
One came with a blister with a Necron Warrior in it, and the second one featured the Lord, the Immortals, and the
that's right, yeah,
the Destroyer.
Right, 219 had a Space Marine bike in it. 222 was a Hellhound. Right. No, I can't find it. I'm not typing all the numbers in 200. I'll be all day.
That is very true, Kevin.
No, I give up. But yeah, it had a rearing. It might even have been the initial Archaon, Chaos Warrior rearing on a horse, and had a Necron Warrior on the front in a blister. Yeah,
Back when they were the Necron Raiders.
If you're a game of a certain age and you know other games of a certain age, then you might have people who play second edition. But second edition was it was a very different game. It did take a long time. What you're looking at on that battlefield, if you want to sort all that out now, game-wise, that is going to take a while. The combats alone were a nightmare. It'd be like, right, here's my Gene Stealer. He's got 4 dice, so I roll 4 dice. I add his weapon skill. He gets +1 because he charged. Right, you roll your dice. You're dead anyway, but never mind. Roll your dice. And then add your weapon skill. And then if you've got a sword, you might be able to parry my 6. And here's my next Gene Stealer. My next Gene Stealer gets +1 dice and +1 weapon skill and stuff like that. There was problems with second edition, but you didn't have as many models. The points were higher. And games still took a long time, but you had a lot of fun playing those games, a lot of fun. So I think the combat got changed for the better back then to the third edition standard. But I do kind of like the dual way that they used to. This is why it was kept for things like Necromunda, exactly the same combat system, because when you have 2 characters going at each other, that rolling the dice and then adding your weapon skill and being able to parry and stuff like that is a lot more cinematic and narrative than just I've rolled 20 dice. I've now rolled 10 of those 20 dice, and now, you take 6 of your guys off. That's not as interesting. But second edition games could take a long time, and although GW does lie time and time again to say, yeah, you can play this game in an hour now. No, you can't. Shut up. Stop. You can't. Second edition games would take like three hours to play easily. Easily 3 hours to play. But yeah, they were a lot of fun. A lot of fun. So, GW doesn't do this anymore. It's as simple as that. So if you want to, then track down these codexes. I mean, you buying them physically now is crazy expensive. I can't believe how expensive they've got them. They're like £100 on eBay. I was like, whoa. They were not that when I went collecting mine a few years ago.
I think I'm missing 3.
I think I'm missing 3 as well. Orcs is one of them.
Yeah, Orcs is really expensive.
Yeah, like Kevin says, that's why you enjoyed the whole day. Compared to now, it's 2 hours of stress. It's over turn 1. Yeah, I mean, floor hammer back in the day. You literally just sit on the floor with your mate. A couple of books with a cloth over it for a hill. You know, canners, I think it was a silo, and you just play and you just have fun. As I say, the first game I played with Tyranid wouldn't even have the bloody codex, and we got all the stats wrong. It was still fun. It was all good, you know. Back then you were encouraged to make that kind of stuff up and stuff like that, but yeah, it was just different, dudes. So how many codexes have we got left to take on? Because there's no point in rolling with dice anymore. We should just pick a codex to do at some point. So have you guys got any preferences?
We've done Angels of Death and Eldar, haven't we?
We have done both of those, yep. We've done one more as well, but I can't remember what it is right now.
So what we've got: Chaos, Space Wolves, Imperial Guard, Orcs.
Yep.
Imperial Guard we did.
Oh, it was Imperial Guard we did, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, you got.
But there was no Dark Eldar.
No, they didn't exist. You've got Orcs, Chaos, Ultramarines. Sisters of Battle.
Yeah, Sisters. There was also Codex Assassins.
There was. It was like 8 pages in the White Dwarf. I've got it somewhere. Not well. It was like it came with a White Dwarf. It wasn't in a White Dwarf. But it's like literally like 8 pages.
Third edition.
We haven't done Space Wolves. We haven't done Ultramarines, Chaos, Sisters of Battle, or Orcs.
Could probably do Assassins and Necron Warriors as a combined episode or something.
Yeah. Not a lot.
They're like the sub-codexes.
Yeah, we can get around to those ones at the end. I mean, Chaos is a chunky one, I can tell you that. Chaos is
a great one.
Big codex.
I think the Chaos Codex was when they finally got it. They got it very much. The theme was correct.
Yes. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It was the second to last second edition codex, if I remember correctly, and they just smashed it out of the park. It was incredible. Incredible. Let's do Space Wolves next then. Yeah.
Oh, close.
Because I want to talk about how broken the Wolf Guard were, because you could have more than one assault cannon, and it was just horrible. So we'll get a time together to do Space Puppies, and we'll have a look at that one evening, and we'll make that next one. But in the meantime, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this look at awesome second edition Tyranids, and we will catch you guys later. I should have a video out over the weekend looking at Darkwater, Warhammer Quest Darkwater, because I have thoughts, and I'm pretty sure it's going on pre-order, or being announced for pre-order on Sunday. So yeah, cool.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out. The thing is, they've done some articles, and I don't see what else they can say about it now. And that normally means that it's going to be the next pre-order, and also that would mean it goes on pre-order around about Black Friday, which is what I predicted. So
yeah, instead of Space Hulk.
Yeah, instead of Space Hulk, you bastards. Never mind. Right, okay, we'll catch you guys later. Thanks for tuning in. See you later. Bye.
Cheers, guys. Bye.